I've been feeling kind of unsettled over the last couple weeks. It's been a little intense over here. Summer has brought a stream of events, visitors, and excitement. Wonderful things, to be sure, but I'm still learning how to maintain a slow pace in a busy world, and honestly, recently I have not been doing a great job of it. So today, we're heading off in search of peace, slowing down my body and mind to seek out a rhythm that feels good to live inside of. The first thing I did was actually sit down and write out a list of things that I know bring me to a place of peace. Not a checklist or a to-do list, but more of a guide, and also just a reminder for myself that there are things I can do when I feel overwhelmed that I know ground me in the present. Tomatoes are draining water pretty quickly, so I think I might need to add some more soil in later today. We got good rain this morning. As you can probably see, the leaves are quite damp, but the soil was pretty dry, so I added some water just to be safe. I think we might have our first little garden harvest today. We have a couple tomatoes that are looking like they're almost there, and one that looks like it is just about perfect. It has been a long struggle, but it looks like at least certain plants in my herb garden are coming back to life. This guy, I'm not sure there's a lot of hope for, but my basil plant is looking much revived. So are these ones. I definitely made the mistake of not leaving in the markers, so I don't remember what all of them are, but which one? This one? Or this one?
That looks like lavender moss.
Is this rosemary?
This guy is oregano. I've never grown that. That might be thyme or something.
All right, here it goes. Do I have to wash it? If it's from our garden.
I doubt it. It grew in our yard.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'm reading a book right now called 1000 Gifts by Anne Voskamp that has been absolutely wrecking me in the best way possible. Every night I make it a few pages further and then I have to stop and simply digest what she's written because it's so rich. Right now I'm in the 4th chapter and I want to read you this quote. "It takes a full 20 minutes after your stomach is full for your brain to register satiation. How long does it take your soul to realize that your life is full? The slower the living, the greater the sense of fullness and satisfaction. The body and soul can synchronize. This moment I enter, racing time tempers, and the neurons brand into memory." She goes on to write this beautiful poetry about just eating dinner with her family and her kids. And then a few pages later, she writes this: "There are 4 appointments scratched on the calendar this week, and 2 evening meetings slotted, and all 6 kids have swimming lessons, and there are piano recitals and exams looming at week's end, and days flood torrential, but full attention slows the current. Don't I always have the choice to be fully attentive? Simplicity is ultimately a matter of focus." This lesson I am learning over and over this year. Choosing simplicity and slowness at times feels so easy. so simple, as it were. It's just as easier to fall out of step with that rhythm, to succumb to a world that is moving and rushing and calls us to rush too. I think so often this unsettlement, anxiety, whatever it is that I'm feeling right now, comes from this part of me that believes that in order to have peace, I must always have more than enough time, money, videos edited, uploaded, and scheduled. It tells me that wherever I am, 10 steps ahead is the place where I will be allowed to rest. I think at the root of any form of intentional living, simple living, slow living, whatever word you want to use, has to be gratitude. The ability to look at wherever you are at in life and simply decide that it's enough. Something I've been implementing lately, a practice inspired by this book, is keeping a written record in my journal of what feel like holy moments throughout my day. It's not that different from a standard gratitude journal practice, but for whatever reason, the idea of simply sitting down and just going, I'm going to make a list of things I'm thankful for, feels very forced to me. The idea of holy moments in the everyday feels like something I first have to notice, to actually slow down enough to seek. They're not hard to find, but they are easy to miss, and when I overstuff my mind, I forget to see them. I've been really loving finding ways to create and work with my hands this year, mainly through gardening and cooking or baking, which both feel really grounding to me. There's something so comforting about knowing that you can't rush the process. Bread rises in its own time, and while I can water and fertilize and weed, the plants will still grow at the pace they find. Cooking is something I have struggled to enjoy for quite some time. I grew up really loathing and resenting the process, and over time, I'm trying to relearn it in a more positive way. Last year, a friend of mine started telling me about a family member of hers. I believe it was her grandmother, who always described cooking as a love language. It was something she got to do for the people she loved, a way to take care of them and provide them with something they truly enjoy. That really resonated with me. And so I have been shifting my attitude towards it to be one of gratitude and enjoyment instead of dread. This morning, I woke up about 45 minutes before my alarm. I didn't plan it, but I kind of think my body just knew I needed a little time to myself, and I'm so grateful. I just sat in bed and got lost in a story for a while, which was exactly what I needed. This morning I've been journaling and just reflecting on this idea of peace in my life. I shared this video in December on things I had quit to simplify my life, which ended up changing my life, and my channel grew an immense amount purely because of that one video. I shared a lot of really impactful changes that I had made, all things that I had removed from my life and felt so much freedom since having done that, and that's still true for me. But as I was kind of thinking about it this morning, I realized that when I initially quit those things, when I stopped doing them, I kind of thought that that would be the end of it. It wasn't a conscious thought necessarily, but my plan for a simpler, slower life was pretty much just to cut out all of the things that added chaos and hurry into it. My resting pace in life had been frantic, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I sort of just figured that if I quit all of those things that were keeping me busy and stressed out, the feelings would go away and I would never go back. But the thing is, my tendency in life has been black and white thinking, which is something I know about myself, and part of why I think I was drawn to a slower life, but I didn't consider the fact that I may have brought that mindset with me into this chapter. The thing is, embracing slowness, probably really any life change, has two parts to it. There's the removal, the ending of what was, which is a process in and of itself. And then there's relearning how to live life differently. And that also requires conscious action. Slow living did not fix all of my problems. It has not fixed all of my problems, and it won't. It doesn't mean that life stops being hard or you stop feeling stressed or overwhelmed from time to time. I think I'm realizing that more than anything, it's learning how to find slowness and move at a slow pace even when life is chaotic and even when things are kind of stressful. Otherwise, it just sort of feels like I'm practicing avoidance. This search for peace is incomplete if all I try to do is avoid things that make me uncomfortable. As I work to eliminate rush and chaos from my own life, I also need to learn how to add peace into it. Not something to accomplish or check off, but to embrace and invite into my life on a daily basis, building restorative rhythms into my life. In light of that, I think today we're gonna go to the beach. I have a friend in town who has never been to Lake Huron, which I think is where we're gonna go. Always forget how much more myself I feel by the water. Really outdoors in general, but specifically like in the middle of the forest or on a beach, just fills up my cup in a way that very few things can. It's also hot, so it feels like a good day to do it.